All right, folks. Good morning. Season one, episode two, catching up on the Causeway underway here. Pulling up on the Causeway here in a minute here. Uh, Yesterday got some email follow ups done. Plan for today. Going to see if there's been any recent sales in the last month in the area. We're going to start sending some direct mail to folks that have had some closings and recently purchased properties in the area. Letting them know that we're going to be doing property management for short-term rentals. We're also going to be doing a little bit of call in insurance. We call it property preservation services. Um, oh man, got some traffic coming up here. Might have some time for a little bit longer of an episode. I don't know. Might run out of stuff to say. We'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, in the insurance industry, we call it property preservation services. It's basically where, man, there's a ton of traffic. It's where you take care of somebody's home on a routine and ongoing basis. Just looking after things on a scheduled and regular um, regular basis. Air filters, making sure you don't have any siding issues or failing gutters, keeping gutters clean, um, and just helping homeowners stay on top of things so that, their properties are gaining value. So those are the two core services that we're going to offer to people. And so just wanting to let those new owners know, that we're in the area and able to help them with that kind of stuff. That's always really been the hardest part, right? Was as I was getting properties ready um, for short-term rentals, whether it was up in Tuscaloosa or down in Perdido Key after our family bought a beach house down in that area. It's kind of figuring out, okay, who am I going to call when the air conditioner breaks, and what plumber am I going to call when we hit a line and we've got a leak and stuff. And so it's hard to figure that out in the early days. So getting with those homeowners early will be a hopefully a good foot in the door for whether they're looking to do rentals or just use it for family and stuff like that. So both of those things we're going to do flat fee. I feel like um, there's not very much variable cost even in short-term rentals. Um, there's not a reason to have your commission going up indefinitely, just because somebody's property might make 150,000 a year as opposed to $47,000 a year. There's obviously, you know, uh, there's a bottom line cost that you have to account for, even on the low end of the spectrum. But you know, and property managers reduce their commissions to remain competitive on those more desirable and larger uh, properties. And so that's, it's two ways to skin the cat, I suppose. But I just feel like a flat fee um, makes a little bit more sense in my mind as somebody who's interviewed property managers in the past. Deciding whether or not we wanted to manage these short-term rentals that we have on our own or doing them, handing the keys over to somebody else. Uh, you know, Trying to justify, potentially 25-30% coming off the top end is a hard pill to swallow. And, I've never been able to make properties cash flow when you're looking at purchases just outright. Okay, I'm going to buy this beach house and then I'm going to rent it out when I'm not using it. If 25% is coming off the top, that there's other ways to make money, is what it boils down to. So, I think the flat fee thing will help us create a niche, and be a little bit of a differentiator for us in the marketplace. So, That's the idea, and that's what we're working on today. I guess we'll jump back into a little bit of background and history, because I don't think we touched on it quite enough just yesterday. So, after I graduated, um, Alabama, I did, because of my real estate concentration, you get to skip the pre-licensing course to get your Alabama real estate license. And so went ahead and took the test after I graduated, because you have to do it within a certain amount of time after you graduate. Otherwise, you do end up having to do the pre-licensing course again, even with your real estate concentration. So did that. And my granddad, my pop, he was with Roberts Brothers for a long time, and so I just kind of wanted to follow in the family footsteps, and was like, well, if Roberts Brothers is good enough for him, that's it's going to be good enough for me. And so put my license into we call it referral status. I was not active in the sense that I could list and sell property for people. Um, I had to tell a qualifying broker, hey, look, my dad's buying a house, or, so and so's selling a house, and you know, can we get them in touch with somebody? And the qualifying broker would hook up with somebody who was actually active and selling real estate every day, and I would just get a small kickback. Um, as a percentage. I don't even remember what it was. I never actually ended up making a referral while I was in referral status. Um, Even though, I was around people and knew people that were buying and selling homes. When it's hard to explain to somebody that you're a real estate agent, but you're not going to actually sell their house for them. And so they don't really think of you uh, when it comes time to sell, if you're just in referral status. And so I think that's probably something that's great for people that are looking to retire and have a network of a bunch of past sales and past clients and stuff. They can kind of continue making some residual income from the people that they've worked with in the past. But for somebody starting out, I don't think I was ever going to really make any money as a referral agent at Roberts Brothers. And so I looked at going active. Um, with them, but they had a bunch of monthly fees and desk fees and all this other kind of stuff, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be so regular that um, that I can necessarily justify this monthly expense, because they weren't inconsequential fees. So it's kind of like, well, if I'm going to do this, I better be sure that I'm going to be selling a bunch of real estate, and it's proven over time that I'm not really going to be selling a bunch of real estate. I've sold, a bunch of investment properties for my boss at Bass, the insurance company that I work for. Um, Sold aunt and uncle's house. Helped dad, buy the house down in Florida. Um, so I've got some volume over the years, but not much. So it's a good thing, I think, that I didn't go active at a place like Roberts Brothers, where you've got a bunch of desk fees. So I ended up switching to Paul Carter Agency in Mobile, um, where so he's my qualifying broker in Alabama, um, but he doesn't have his license in Florida. So last year, after Dad bought that place in Florida, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get my Florida license. I was hoping that I was going to be able to do that in time to actually be his agent in that transaction. But the state of Florida drug their feet, and it took months um, to actually get my license issued in the state of Florida, even though there's reciprocity there. It was a challenging thing to get through, and frustrating in terms of time, but finally got it. And uh, so now licensed in Florida. They don't have the same requirements that Alabama does. Alabama requires that you if you're going to be a qualifying broker, you have to undertake it full time. They don't go so far as to define what full time is. Um, and I suppose that leaves it up to me. But I don't really want to get in a position where um, somebody asks the question. So in Florida, they don't have it. That's why, and that's kind of why I decided we're going to start this property management company in Perdido Key in the Florida area, because uh, I'm my own qualifying broker there, and I have the actual real estate company there. But anyways, a little bit of rambling there today. We're headed into the Bankhead Tunnel, so we'll call it a wrap for now. Traffic wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, thankfully. Let's see. There we go. I'm seeing a little better now. But anyways, hope y'all could see me a little bit better as I was playing with those exposures. I know yesterday's video was blown out pretty good, but we will see y'all on the next one.